fellow seekers and self-explorers. So here I am again with you today. I am thrilled to share a little video about how our interpretations can affect our vibrations. And this came to me when I was talking to someone over the phone the past few weeks, actually, and I got to see that person was using words like it's difficult, I'm having financial difficulty, it's going to be complicated for me for the next few months, difficult, complicated. That would come again and again and again. And I realized, wow, I got reminded how we create our reality, how we create those difficulties, how much power the words hold really, and how we nourish those thoughts unconsciously most of the time, right? So this video is really about bringing awareness there at the thought, because really, yes, we are creators and we create our reality. And what does it start with? Well, it does start with a thought. And then, of course, come the words, and the words hold so much power. So it's very, very easy to unconsciously nourish the same kind of thought, words, reality. So I got to see that with that person. And, you know, it's so much easier. It's so much easier to see the blind spots in others. And I saw myself wanting to help that person, tell that person, don't you see, you're saying those words and this and that. But quickly, I remembered that it's not so much about wanting to change the other person or helping the other person to see. It's always about, and this is always an invitation, to go within ourselves and sit with ourselves. And how does that show up in my life? What is that person teaching me right now? Instead of trying to change that person, how about applying that change for myself, right? That's where the power lies, you guys. Remembering that we are guides to each other's, and whatever you see in others is in you too. Yeah, so the work really starts here. So that being said, I sat with this, and I realized that lately I was being bored. So this is really, I mean, many things, you know, there has been anger, there's been many things, but I decided to apply and observe that with the boredom. So I sat with it and like, okay, I'm bored. And then I got into all the stories that I tell myself. I've been telling myself for weeks now about the boredom. I'm lacking motivation. I'm lacking a sense of purpose. All of this, and the words that I use, I'm stuck, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, all those things. I've been going through the rabbit hole with this. And this is familiar. I've been there before. I know eventually it's going to pass, but I realized that thanks to that person and those words, I realized that the words that I use a lot are the same. I'm bored, I'm not having motivation, I'm lacking purpose, and I got to see how I'm nourishing that story. I'm actually creating that story with the thought. And then it hit me. How about, because I've been trying to take action to fight that thought, to fight that story, and nothing seems to be working, and I get even more stuck, and I reinforce the story. So I realize it's not so much about using my masculine to fix, right? Do something to fix that thought. How about I sit with the thought and I welcome it and I learn from it? And then it hit me. Yes, okay, I may be feeling bored, but that's a word, and that's a powerful one. And then all the other words I use are very powerful too. I'm stuck. I lack motivation. I lack a sense of purpose. So I've been nourishing those thoughts. This is what I'm creating. This is as simple as that. So then I decided to try something else completely. Once I've acknowledged it, we can't change something we don't acknowledge. So acknowledging is the first step. Okay, I am acknowledging that I've been using those words and nourishing it. And of course, I've been stuck there and going down and down the rabbit hole, how about changing my interpretation? Okay, I'm being bored. What if I'm not actually bored? What if I'm actually on pause? What if I'm not actually lacking any motivation? I'm on pause. I'm not actually lacking purpose. I'm on pause. I'm on pause to allow, maybe to allow the next step to be revealed to me. Wow. And I sat with this and it started to actually feel good. And I started to actually like that boredom. Wow, I'm on pause. And I started to see all the good things I've accomplished actually this year. Okay, I'm on pause. And that may be a necessary pause. So yes, it's uncomfortable because it's the unknown. But wow, it's actually exactly where I need to be. So the next step can be revealed. And I started to feel so happy about it and much lighter. And I could feel my whole body changing and the whole vibration changing. And I got inspired for this video and many other things came to my mind like, wow, this is so freaking cool. And it happened like this. Of course, to tell you the truth, maybe a day or two later, I got again stuck in the same thing. Why? Because I mean, this is practice, you guys. It's like a muscle. You don't get like a big muscle, like doing one workout one day, right? It's about going regularly and doing that work regularly until you're familiar with it and it gets integrated and it gets easier and easier. And then the changes, you can really see them and feel them. Right? So practice. I prepared this little, I'm very visual, so I like to do little slides here. Simple. First, acknowledge. Acknowledge the pattern. It can be a thought pattern. It can be words that you use often. Acknowledge what it is that you want. And you know that kind of feels negative or that puts you down into the rabbit hole or something you may want to change. Acknowledge the pattern first. We cannot change something we don't acknowledge. This is the number one rule, right? You need to acknowledge it first. All right, then that's a key point I didn't mention to you guys. Decide if you want to change it. Let me come back here for a second. Decide if you want to change it. Why? Because you don't have to. And I'm one that puts so much pressure on myself. So, I'm quick to go into guilt or self-blame. And so acknowledge first. Once you've acknowledged it, decide if you want to change it. You don't have to. Sometimes, and that's the beauty of being a human, for some reason that we don't need to identify all the time, we like our suffering, we like our rabbit hole, maybe we need to be there, we need to stay in there for a little bit. So you get to decide. You're in charge always. Remember, you are the creator. So decide if you want to try something different. You don't have to. If this place is kind of uncomfortable, but you want to stay in it a little longer, maybe hit rock bottom, or it's okay too. And it's exactly where you need to be. Okay, you're in charge. Remember, you don't have to anything. Okay, so that's very important. I really wanted to clarify that. You're in charge. You decide. So acknowledge the pattern. Decide if you want to change it. If you don't right now, that's fine. You can just practice that. Okay, I've acknowledged the pattern. Great. And I've decided not to change it. And you can continue to practice acknowledging the words that you use, the thought that you used, and the awareness that you don't want to change it just yet. It's fine. Then, if you decide that you want to change it, what you can do is explore a different interpretation. Let's say, in this, be creative here. For me, the boredom got transformed into, oh, wow, what if I'm actually on pause? That's the word that came to me, right? So just explore maybe an opposite vibration or something, a completely different interpretation, because we are all about interpreting, you guys. It's all about interpretation, everything. We have an opinion on everything, and then we create those wonderful stories. Okay, so explore a different interpretation. Explore something else. And then see how it feels. See how it feels. And repeat. You guys, I know it looks so easy, but actually it is. And even if, you change that story, okay, instead of, my financial situation being difficult and the next months are going to be complicated, what if maybe, I'm being challenged right now. It's an exciting challenge. I'm in a challenging situation to grow. However it comes up for you, try to interpret what's going on in a different way and create a different story and try to feel the vibration that it comes with. And again, we may not really like it because it's new and it feels freeing and light. And a lot of us are addicted to our suffering and to our little rabbit holes. A lot of us, I think, are, and it's okay. It's part of the human condition. But you get to practice that, you guys. You get to practice and see the shift. And if you sit with it long enough, with this new vibration, this new interpretation, this new story that you just created, what happened to me was quite magical. I was like, what? Everything changed. And to tell you the truth, I missed a little bit that victim side of me that's like, oh yeah, but I don't have purpose and I don't know what to do and what's the point of all this, all the drama that I'm kind of addicted to. I got to see that too. I'm like, whoa. And it's all okay. It's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. But you get to choose. You get to be reminded with those little tools that you are the creator of your own life. And if you're having a challenging situation, a difficult time, take a step back. Look at it differently. Interpret what's going on differently. Just try it. Try it. Our interpretation affects our vibrations. The way I was interpreting, for example, that person on the phone, I was interpreting what that person was saying about life being difficult, and that's going to be complicated, and this and that and that and that. And the world is going into chaos, and all those stories. I got to see that. I got to see that and be like, wow. And it's okay too to want to nourish those vibrations for reasons that don't belong to me. Right? But look at your own vibration and interpretation of what's going on in your life, what's going on in the world. Look at how you interpret things. It is just that, an interpretation. Doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's real. It's the way we choose to interpret our drama or situations, right? So spend a little time there, pondering on the way you interpret what you see, what you go through, and just try explore something different and see what happens. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you find this a little bit helpful. Don't hesitate to subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you for another video very soon. All right, take care, you guys. Bye.